Hey, what's up, everyone? Good morning. Good morning. I think we live streaming on YouTube, and all these, and this will be recorded. This meeting is being recorded, so please be mindful of the personal information that you choose to share. Um, Welcome to our webinar. Today we will be discussing. So I think we're live still, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of too confusing. All right. So overcoming barriers to employment. What is that? Why is that important? Um, First, let me introduce. My name is Deshaun Jennings. I'm the founder of Straight Up Employment Services. We believe in bridging the gap between access and opportunities for those that are in need of employment in the state of New Jersey. Um, we have we have an employee mentor approach in which we look at how we can actually address our clients in a way that is more feasible to credibility, the community, what's going on. We like to let them know that we know what's going on because we are pretty much centered through lived experience. Some of our staff have been unemployed. Some of our staff have battled food insecurity. Some of our staff have battled housing issues. So we look at that aspect of things and we understand that we need all these components and to actually create some type of sustainable employment outcome. So as we move forward, why does barriers matter? Why are we discussing barriers here? I would like to say that many people face challenges when they are looking for work, such as transportation issues, getting to and from work, getting to and from interviews may be an issue, as well as even searching for jobs, going out into the community searching for jobs. People with vehicles and access around has a higher chance of getting a job versus a person without those type of resources to get around. Past justice system involvement, though that's a barrier, as we all know that there's several collateral consequences that really shows up in our economic and as an economic factor for those that's justice involved. It can show up in employment, it can show up in housing, it can show up in several factors that may cause a disparity in some area. Gaps in work history. There may be several gaps in work history that when I'm reviewing resumes, we look at those gaps in work history in ways that we can pretty much close them up or create a certain type of resume that doesn't expose too much gaps in work history. Limited professional networks, understanding that not knowing a lot of people, not being in the midst may is a barrier too. As just imagine if your resume was to go up against someone that knows someone, then you may not get the job. So we might as well constitute that as being a barrier as well. Um, so these barriers is what we look at. We look at these challenges as a way for us to look at our clients and really zone in that assessment phase and that intake phase on identifying these challenges to get put that on the forefront. Let them know that this is here, right? And that is the first step. And once you're able to identify this challenge, there's ways to navigate them. So, straight up employment services, we definitely assist our clients with navigating those barriers. And so, as we get into barriers specifically and have a brief definitive approach on each barrier, the first one I want to touch on is transportation. As we all know, that transportation is very vital as it's needed to get to and from work, get to and from interviews, get to and from seeking job employment opportunities. So we have we have built several solutions, right? We have built several solutions with public transit planning. A lot of our clients don't know that they can access a certain job, that there's a certain bus route. They don't know of bus routes within their community. They don't know schedules, or they don't have the access to even obtain that information. So we look to assist them with that. Rideshare or carpool partnerships. We understand that it's important to get to point A to point B. And if we have more than one person in the group going from point A to point B, then that's a possibility. Linking with Lyft and Uber as ways in their community programming, exploring their community programming, and requesting ways that we can intervene to ensure that we are getting our clients to and from workplace opportunities in a cost-effective way. Flexible work schedules or remote work options. We look at that as well. We look at the fact that if our clients are not, if there's a real actual mobility issue within the client, then we address that. Then we look for remote work options, right? Or if the client has certain levels of skill set that made to fit a certain remote position, we still will look at that as a way to accomplish a barrier as far as getting to from employment. However, it doesn't really combat the whole issue, which is transportation. An individual not having transportation, whether it's to work, whether it's to groceries. So we understand that. So most of our clients, well, not most of them, but a good amount of our clients don't even have a permit, right? A driver's permit, a driver's license. So there's a need to address there, and we looking for partners as well to address that area of driving, right? You think that we just need a CDL, we want to advance, but nah, some people in the city and in these communities, they really need their driver's license, and they need the information to be put in a way that they can understand, or they need someone to help them, right? So looking at that. Ways to navigate, we already said that, but we help our clients with plan using Google Maps and transit as years has come. They have become more advanced, and their abilities to actually get around has become more feasible for our clients, and so we use Google Maps as a way for to show to navigate direction to if you have to walk or if there's a transit option. And we look for work options that's hybrid or remote. We work on a plan because this is very vital. Like a lot of the reasons behind the licenses, which is the sub barriers, is that some of our clients cannot obtain their license because there's court fees and fines attached. So looking at Newark Community Solutions, right, as a partner, as a way that we can kind of strengthen that, right? What's going on in those courtrooms that our clients are not able to get their license to even go to motor vehicles, because motor vehicles will pretty much turn them around if they have pending fees or a court adjudication that states that they're not able to obtain a license for a certain period of time. So assistance with that may be scheduling court dates for them, working on a plan to pay off their fines. We're not there yet to help them pay off their fines. However, we have issued up to $5,200 in hardship in 2025 alone. We don't do this for praise or a pat on the back, but every year at the end of this is the time where we round up those numbers, and we really see that a lot of our resources went to hardship, right? Whether it was help assisting the client with rental, cost sharing on their rent, cost sharing on the security deposit, cost sharing on it was two clients with like motels. We had to put them in a short stay for motels. So all of that stuff added up and it came up to over $5,200. And we're not funded, right? Straight up employment services is not funded. It comes from the work that we're doing. It comes from my pay, right? It comes from insurers pay. One of the co-founders that looks to, we kind of put it together and figure it out for our clients because we love our people. Justice system involvement is another barrier, as those challenges really present those collateral consequences that we really gotta be mindful of and be educated on to even realize that it's happening to you. But past arrest or convictions may affect job opportunities, simply because it's not before they meet you, right? They really are. This is a process of getting an understanding of a person. If during that process of obtaining that data, they see that past arrest or convictions, it can really limit your chances of getting an employment opportunity. Why do I say that? Simply because there's going to be an applicant without that conviction or that arrest. It's simple as that. There will be an applicant that does not have criminal history. And automatically that, you know, will, give them the opportunity over you. So um we like to connect with ban the box employers that don't have that on the application. However, as we have learned that type of initiative, there's ways around it, and employers have found ways around it. Anything community facing that can be easily taken back, there's always a way around it, and they are able to pull soft pulls searches, right? They are able to have an account where they can pull soft pulls on employee potential employees, right? That can really give them. You can go on certain websites in New Jersey to search a criminal judgment or something. So it's really connected with ban the box is cool for the community facing aspect, but when you look at what can happen behind the scenes, then no. But we like to connect with the ban the box employers. Expungement or record clearance resources. Well, we understand that a lot of people are help assisting with expunging. We are privy on expunging. I know how to do expunging, but that doesn't mean the whole team knows how to do expungement. So, straight up employment, we are not there yet with the system with expungement. Um, we are looking to actually into 2026, 2027, actually build on to that. Record clearance resources is very important. You have to understand those collateral consequences that's attached to your crime, or what you was charged or convicted of. You have to understand that everything has a consequence, and those it leaks past employment. It goes into housing. It goes to a lot of places. So I don't want you to just think that um, it's just housing or anything, right? So as we move on to how to gain employment when you justice involved. This is a very important topic. Um, I would like to say this: be as honest as you can, and if you cannot be honest, then that's not the job really for you, because there is. Let me back that up. If you cannot find yourself opening up with your past experiences and you can read the room, you can pretty much know where you're getting yourself into. For example, if you had a theft crime, right? It was a charge with shoplifting or theft, and you went for an interview as a bank teller or something. That part, right? So it's kind of like how it links. So, um, I'm gonna give another example. If you in customer service and you have assault charges, all right, not saying that it bans you, but that's what they look at. Like, can he handle himself? Is he or she able to control him or her temper when things doesn't look the way that they want them to, right? So it's that part when you're assessing that record, right? They're looking at it from that lens, and it's all about the role you're going into. So if you're going into truck driving, not so much, right? You just got to look at what DOT says about certain uh, felonies. So a barrier three is a gap in work history. Many questions come from employers related to the gaps in employment. So if you have gaps in your employment, you will really have to answer about that in your interview, because it really shows that you're not holding a job, or the reasons for leaving a job. You're always leaving a job, and it's probably you, right? You might look like a common denominator in this situation. So gaps in work history it really exposes and minimizes your chance of getting a employment opportunity. So what I propose to our clients and to our job developers here to help our clients with is highlighting their transferable skills from school, volunteering, or life experiences. Right. Sometimes interest is just as good as skill if you understand importance of practice. If you're interested in something, or if we have I had a high school student interested in drawing, interested in art. A skill obviously will be attention to detail, right? Obvious skill, patience, obvious skill, right? I had a chance to go look at her art studio, right? Um, organize, obvious skill, right? The way she labels her paintings everywhere, obvious skill. All right. And you want to be able to let her know, like, I see that skill. I see your skill, right? Marketing. I see your branding. You have a logo, right? Obvious skills. No job at all, right? Young, I think graduate this upcoming year. So, but wants to start looking for employment in like art museums and stuff. Interesting. Um, Join internships or apprenticeships or volunteer programs, understanding that just because it doesn't have money, a price tag on it, or you're not being paid, payment happens in other ways, such as experience, network. I like to say your network is your net worth, vice versa. So understand that you have to meet people and use these type of programs such as apprenticeships and internships and volunteering opportunities to be able to gain that type of experience to take you to the next level. Work with our mentors. As mentioned, we have an employee mentor approach, right? That is our evidence based model. That's the way we do things. We understand that in order to for a person to be employable, we have to address certain barriers, and that takes a mentorship approach. All right. So, how to address those gaps in work histories? You might want to highlight what you did during those times, like your volunteering, caregiving, training. Emphasize on transferable skills such as communication, leadership, and problem solving. Join internships or even short term trainings to even rebuild your resume, which is very important. It's about adding a fluff to your resume and understanding the direction you're going and ensuring that you are applying to opportunities that aligns with your direction. Limited networks, as we all know, limited networks is very, it can be scarce for you in a competitive job market because everyone knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, right? So in these competitive markets, if you don't know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, no offense, it's like nothing to the applicant. It's like nothing there. It's just this person knows um this person has a reference that does good work for the company and or was recommended. This person wasn't. This person to probably go into you will go into the we don't need to see no more pal, and this resume will go into the further evaluation pal. I hope that I'm simplifying how employers do your resume as I go. So solutions, you should attend networking workshops and events, participate in mentorship programs, build connections with employers, peers, and community partners. That's very important. I really like the how our employee IEEC designed this. I like it. Tips on strengthening your network. You want to attend job fairs, community events, straight up workshops. Start coming to these groups. Start stating your interests. Connect with mentors, coaches, and peers. Use LinkedIn. Use social media, right? Use Instagram to reach out to professionals in your field as well. So we support public transit guidance. We'll actually go out there and meet our client and take them on their bus route to their potential place of employment and from so they can learn it. We'll do it a couple of times before they do it by themselves if this is needed. Legal resources and expungement support. We do not directly support with that, but however, we know people that can help with that. So there's a linkage opportunity for you. Resume building and interview preparation without giving all of our clients, they come to us, they'll get a resume within an hour, right? That's just really how it is. Mentorship and job placement. Mentorship is very vital in this role because employment is cool, right? Linking them to a job is cool, but sustainable employment opportunity really does it for straight up employment services. Understanding that, we've been Jesus, this will be a second year in operation, and without funding, we have successfully two clients have been employed for a year, right? The longest. So, and we also have, and these was our first clients, right? When we started off with two, and those two clients have been employed for a year, and I think the second item is I think 6 to 8 months. We have over 64 clients with 68 months, 6 to 8 months now, as we stand in now, in their current role. So there's some outcomes here. So you want to really identify your personal barriers, as mentioned. You want to know your barriers, and this is what we ask. The first question: any barriers to employment? We get you thinking about that. They be like, "What? What you mean barriers?" Right? So we want you to start thinking about criminal history, mental health issues, right? Concerns, right? We'll link you to people that can assist you with actually getting a job and sustaining there because we don't just look for this information to write it down. We look for this information to assess and utilize and assist you with this information, right? So that's what we do with your barriers, right? Pick strategies to overcome each barrier. You should understand, work with your job developer, work with the organizations we link you to strategize on how to overcome each barriers and set 1 to 2 concrete goals for each month, right? With addressing the barrier and getting to your employment goal. And with that, I am complete. Um, I want to thank you all for chiming in. I think we're live on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. I can check. We may be still live on YouTube. But I want to thank you all for really staying connected. To my clients that see this, there will be a pre-test that I sent. Please take the pre-test, it's important. And we have a post-test that we will send out once the pre-test is completed. So we do have a way to see who completed the pre-test. So please complete the pre-test, and once we complete that, you will have the post-test. Um, and after we have one more final week, which is the 22nd, I believe, we will be discussing tips for job success. And after that, we will start sending out certificates and dropping them off to everyone. So please take those pre-tests and post-tests as we are paying attention, and they are important to actually obtaining your your certificate. So I'm gonna stop the share, and it's just again, thank you all for tuning in. It's very important that we pay attention to not only getting jobs and maintaining jobs, but understanding that there are several barriers to employment, and we must address those barriers if we want to, make those great steps and strides in our employment journey. Again, my name is Deshaun Jennings. I'm the founder of Straight Up Employment Services. We are a New Jersey-based nonprofit organization that believes in bridging the gap between access and opportunities for those that are in need of employment. If you need assistance, please feel free to go to www.str, the number 8, employment.org. Scroll down, go to the referral form, complete a referral form, and someone will be with you within 24 hours, 48 hours if we have a high volume of referrals. So, thank you all for tuning in and see you next week.